Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today we're going to talk all about DMX wiring. That is, we're going to start at the bottom and teach you how to wire DMX in lighting fixtures. Let's dive in. Okay, so DMX wiring is actually really simple, and we could do this tutorial in about 2 minutes, but there are some caveats, some special situations, a lot of common questions we get when setting up a basic DMX light that, I really want to cover here. The first thing you've got to know, there's so many things you've got to know, is that DMX basically works in what's called a daisy chain. So if we draw it out basically, and I'm nice and simple here, if we have a control board of some sort, right? You'll draw that beautiful piece of art right there. Okay, so we've got a control board, and then we've got some lights, right? So the lights will be the circles, okay? Every DMX light has a DMX input and output on it. Now, if it's an install type fixture, sometimes there's just DMX and you build yourself a little Y cable and put the in and the out both in the same terminal block. But for most people, most places, you've got DMX in and out, and it's either going to be a 3-pin jack, so that looks like this, right? 3-pin XLR type plug on a DMX cable, or it's going to be a 5-pin. The pins are a little smaller, and they look like that, okay? 3-pin and 5-pin DMX are exactly the same thing, okay? Like here, I have got a fixture that has 3-pin, this Gamma TX4 moving head, okay? 3-pin DMX in and out. It actually also has 5-pin. Here I have a fixture, a Volux QPAR 18, that just has 5-pin, okay? And so 3 and 5-pin are the same thing. Essentially, the standard was made with some extra space in it for fixtures to be able to talk back. And they also went with 5-pin so it wouldn't get confused with audio cable. But a lot of modern brands, particularly on the more entry level, use 3-pin because it's a cheaper plug, it's more common, etc. And the two can be exchanged easily. We'll get to that a little bit more in a second. First, wiring DMX. As the thunderstorm breaks out overhead. Hopefully that's not too bad for you. So, your lighting console is going to have a DMX output on it, no matter what it is. It might be 5-pin, it might be 3-pin, but it is going to be a DMX output socket that is a female plug ready to receive a male or pins type plug. Okay? Then your first fixture will have a DMX input and output jacks on it, just like we have on these fixtures here. Now, sometimes, especially on, shall we say, less mainstream brands, less non-US brands, they might flip the labels on the input or output. That's okay, because DMX, technically, you wire it, you come out of your console, and you go into your first fixture, right? Okay, so say we go ahead here, and I just grab actually a little piece of console. This is a little Onyx Wing NXP. But it could be any simple, more complicated console, doesn't matter. Then we're just going to come out, in this case it's DMX 5-pin. All right, so we're just coming out here, and we'd literally hook up. In this case, I have a DMX 5 to 3-pin adapter. It's just a simple cable adapter, less than $10 typically, and I plug that into the DMX port. Okay, now I'm ready to plug in a DMX cable, and then that goes into the input on the first DMX fixture. Okay, that's all we're doing here. Out of the console, into the first fixture. Technically the data's flowing that way, right? Okay, perfect. Now, daisy chaining. So, our next fixture, we just come out of the output, to the next fixture, to the next, to the next. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Technically, like I said before, you can technically use some turnarounds and wire it backwards. It doesn't matter because DMX technically is not a bunch of in and outs like we've drawn here. It's actually really just coming out of the console, and it's what's called a bus, okay? Where it drives by, it stops off at the DMX chip on every fixture, but that's not critical for the average user to know, okay? So, what else is important about DMX, okay? So, you've got DMX lights, you've got a console, right? and you're coming in and out on all of these different fixtures. Okay, and depending on your console, depending on your setup, on what things look like in your particular situation, you're going to address these DMX lights. Okay, so that means that your kind of next step is to give each light a number. Now, a lot of modern consoles, where'd my marker go? We'll switch to red. Will do this automatically for you. You do what's called patching first. You set the numbers. But say we're working with a 14-channel DMX light here. Okay, that means the first one can be address 1. Okay, the next one is going to be 15, right? 29 if I did the math right. 43 if I did the math right. If not, you get the idea. We're spacing them 15 apart. Okay? Now, you enter the DMX address on the menu of the fixture. So, this actually isn't critical. So, the order that you wire the lights in has nothing, nada, to do with the DMX address. Okay? The first light wired does not have to be 1. Right? The last light does not have to be your last fixture. So you can literally go, right, and go, okay, this one is going to be 29 for whatever reason. This one's 15. This one is 1. This one is 43. It truly does not matter. Wiring order and fixture order in DMX, they don't relate in any way. Okay? Now, other questions that come up a lot are, can I address 2 lights to the same address? You absolutely can. So if we're in here and say we have a console that's very limited, say it's just 2 simple par type fixtures like this one that I've got in front of me right here. This guy, okay, maybe they're literally just 3 channels each, red, green, blue. And I've just got a little control console that has, say, 6 channels on it. So I could do 2 lights, okay? Well, if I have 4 lights, that means it's really just as simple as going, okay, DMX address 1, say for the first light, and maybe the other outside light is also 1, okay? In the center, I do 4 and 4, right? So now these 2 and these 2 have the same address. So what are they going to do? Well, that means 100% of the time when you send commands to this fixture, it's also going to that fixture in the end is going to do the exact same thing all day long. So you really only want to do that when you're actually pressed for space inside a console. Most times with modern software or modern consoles at the intermediate or professional level, you typically aren't going to do this because you could just select both lights and make them do the same thing most of the time. But on those other times where you want them to do something different, having them each have their own unique address is going to give you that ability. So more often than not, I don't recommend doing this. Not that it's bad, not that it's going to cause any problems. It's just simply that it's not necessary unless you're really trying to conserve channels. But in most cases, it's better to leave them unique so you have the ability to have them do different things, to have that more greater flexibility. Now, while we're here, actually, and we just put a big X over all of our lights, let's talk about DMX Universes. So universes are something that came up as people start to get more and more lights. Lights take up more and more channels, right? So on the back of a control console like this, I have 4 DMX outputs, which could be 4 separate universes. When you're inside your console, okay, a universe in that case is going to often be expressed either in letters. So we could have a U, and then it could be A, B, C, D as 1 through 4, or other times it'll just be a number. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the actual address as expressed in the console, there would be multiple DMX addresses, okay? And if you're at the basic level, I know this is much more than you'd ever need, but as we get into the future, using multiple universes is more and more common, even on fairly small lighting rigs. That would then be expressed inside the console, say as A.1 or potentially 1.1 for DMX address 1 on universe 1 or A. Okay, so it's really not that complicated in that sense. The biggest key when you're working with multiple universes is that you are going to have multiple lights using the same addresses. Okay, for example, now I've got all these lights behind me and they are on different universes, and so that means that there are some lights that if I plug them into the wrong universe, they would be at an address where there's data being sent. Okay, like this say this one behind me in the corner, right? If I plug that into the wrong universe, it's going to do something completely wrong, not what I'm sending its commands to. So understand that when you have separate DMX universes, it's essential to understand, to know what wire's going to what. Because it's not just, hey, we got to get them all plugged into DMX out of the console and we address them as we want. Now it's, hey, you know, we've got all these different lights and some of them plug into this output on the console, some plug into that output. But because they can have the same addresses, if you do plug them in wrong, you're not going to have control of them. They might do weird stuff that you weren't expecting and you can't get to stop. That is often just simply plugged into the wrong universe. Okay, so I know that's a lot for 10 minutes, but I hope you understand the basics of wiring DMX in this video. We're going to follow this one up with a video right below it, or next week if you're watching this as they come out, talking about splitting DMX, what DMX splitters are, how they work, how they make your life easier, and why you should go buy one right now. I'm kind of kidding there. But they really can help, and I'd love for you to check it out, so make sure you're subscribed so you get that video next week. Also, if you're here and you're buying lights, you need some lights, guess what? We are your place. LearnStageLightingGear.com has lights at pretty much every price point, whether you're just beginning or you're looking for something professional grade. We are the helpful people that love, either through our contact form or through our quote requests. We just add things to your cart and request a quote. We love to answer your questions, inform you, help you make the right decisions for your lighting, and then get you a personalized price to do that. Not only that, but we have our own brand of gaff tape, that tape you tape cables down on the floor with, called Grade A Gaff Tape by Gaffer Guys. It is amazing and it's really, really well priced. Our 3-pack is awesome, so be sure to check that out as well. And we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.